Do you see it? Oh, you can see it better from here. So this is the food. So you put like I have green beans in here. You go per month, so every week how much you generally eat of such food. So like we usually don't eat green beans like terribly often, but if we had them in the freezer, we probably would eat them a little bit more. So I plan for 3 meals a month of beans, I think, right? Yeah. So then you divide that by 4 for your 4 weeks, so you're 9 cups by 4 weeks, and then it gets you 2.25. You take that and you times it times 52 for 52 weeks, and it ends up with 117 cups. Now, in her book, The Family Garden Plan, it also has another page that talks about the amount per plant generally they produce. So then you would take your 117 cups, you would go over to that chart, and you would figure out how many plants you need to plant to get that much in your freezer or that much harvest for your year. So it's kind of really cool. And once you start seeing the math, and I did green beans because I figured that would be easy to figure out because we don't eat it too much, but we eat enough. When they're coming out of the garden, we eat them a couple times a week, if not like 3 times a week because they're there and they're fresh. So if I have them frozen, I think we'll eat them more. So I averaged it out to 3 times a month. So kind of how you would do it. I might up it a little bit because now that I realize that that's only like 3 times a month that you'd be eating it, I might up it a couple times just so that it's a little bit higher. But that, I believe it rounded out to like almost 60 plants of green beans would be the least amount that you would need to get this much in your freezer. Right? This is freezer wise or preserved wise. This is not what you're going to eat fresh during harvest season. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's so fun. I highly recommend getting her book because I think it's got some really good information in it, and it's great. It takes the hard work out of it. You can round down things like spaghetti sauce. So you take not only the tomatoes, but the spices that are in it, things that you can grow on your land, in your backyard, whatever, in your herb garden to keep up with how much your family eats. So like I asked my husband, I'm like, how much do we eat generally of spaghetti sauce in a month? Or, you know, how many cups do you think we eat? And he sent me back how much he thought. And I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. So then you go to the chart, you find out how much oregano do I need? How much basil do I need? How much Italian seasoning, which is a mixture of those and I think a few more spices. I'm not sure exactly. I have to go look at what's in it again. And then you take that and you figure out how much garlic you need to grow, how much onion you need to grow if you use onion. In our house, my husband's not a big old fan of onion, so I don't use a whole lot of actual onion. I use a lot of onion powder in our house, so I could grow onions and powder them for our household, right? And keep some fresh because I like cooking my own lunches for work and stuff fresh. So there's that. But I just wanted to run through that real quick because I had a few minutes in the car before my husband gets done with work. So I just think that's really cool. And what a great way to take each item, break it down into manageable pieces, right? Because I'm all about like, break it down for me. Break it down for me. Because I can hear, oh yeah, we eat this many pounds of that per year, and this is how much I want in my freezer. I need to know how many seeds need to go in the dirt, right? Break it down for me. Make it easy for me because I have ADHD and I get very distracted pretty easily. So if I don't have a number, I'm going to get distracted. I'm not going to have the motivation to continue with a project if I don't have manageable pieces to break it down to. So, doesn't mean I can't do lots of things. It just means that's how my brain works. So I know that. So that's why I do it this way. And some other people would be like, just plant a whole thing full. You're fine. No, I need to know how much I want to have so that we can eat them all year. So, anyways, highly recommend Melissa K. Norris. The book is The Family Garden Plan. So look it up. It also comes in spiral bound, right from Amazon, which is awesome. So many gardening books. I urge any homesteaders who make a book, please sell it in spiral bound. I will take it and go spiral bind your books, because when I'm in the garden, I can't be sitting there holding open a book. Having it spiral bound for me would make my life so much easier. I know it's more expensive for you guys on the other end, but I will tell you, a lot of books I have purchased so far, homesteading books, are wide enough margin that you can spiral bind them at your local Office Max or office store for like $8, and it'll make your life so much better. So I highly recommend going and getting them spiral bound if you can. It is well worth the investment for sure. So highly recommend that. So yeah, I just want to run through that real quick with you guys, share a couple more things about this book that I've learned so far. She also talks about like just being realistic about what you need, because I've seen a lot of these charts and they go like really into depth, but they kind of leave a lot to be desired. Sorry, I'm trying to put it back in my notebook, or in the binder. And they leave a lot to be desired. Like, they don't give you enough building blocks to go on so that you can actually figure it out for your family, right? It gives you like, oh, if you have a family of 4, you need this much. But if you have a 3-year-old that won't touch vegetables for now, like they're just not, say they don't like peas, but the rest of her family does. So my family of 4 or whatever, I'm not going to make a family of 4 amount because I know my 3-year-old is not going to eat them because they don't like them. So, you know, you can keep offering. Obviously, I'm all for that. But if they just don't like them, then they don't, right? So you're going to plan for a little bit less. And then say they really like broccoli. Now, we really like broccoli, so I'm probably going to double the amount that she says per person, because we really like broccoli. Sorry, the lights turned off out here. So I'm going to make more of that a priority. Hopefully I can actually grow broccoli this year, because I will tell you, the last 2 years I've tried and it does not go well. So hopefully I can get it to grow this year. That would make me so happy. I would be beyond happy if I could get successful cauliflower and broccoli heads out of my garden. I even tried buying plants. I've also had bad luck with Brussels sprouts. Any tips from anyone in Wisconsin who grows Brussels sprouts, I would love them, because mine get the little Brussels sprout balls on them and they never get bigger. Like, it gets them on there and I get all excited because I'm like, oh, it's doing it, and then they just never get any bigger. They just don't. So it's kind of disappointing. And I've done it from seed and I've done them from plant, like buying little plants at a nursery. I've done it both ways. Had no luck either way. The ones last year were a little more let's back up. Last year, I love my chickens, but they do like to eat things, and they may or may not have gotten into my garden one day and decided that my broccoli plants and cauliflower plants, pea plants, and Brussels sprouts tasted good. So yeah, that's kind of what happened to them last time. So in all fairness, it wasn't growing season, it was me not paying attention to my free-ranging chickens well enough. That's why this next year I'm gonna have a 7-foot fence, so that won't be a problem. But this year we had a small backyard and couldn't keep them out as actively as I would have liked, obviously. So yeah, but we had 2 plantings of peas. Everything was okay. We were okay, don't worry. But so yeah, that's kind of a couple things there, and I'm getting excited and gearing up. I'm looking at all the videos, waiting for all my homesteaders to come out with new seed starting videos and seed haul videos and all of that sort of content. I'm so excited. So that's kind of a little chit chat there because I had a few minutes, like I said. And so yeah, I'm really excited about planting season and getting to grow corn. I haven't ever gotten to grow corn from my own garden, and that'll be really fun now that we have room to expand greatly from what I've been able to do the last few years. And just super exciting and super excited. Also feel extremely blessed because we understand that there are a lot of you out there who still really want your homestead, and we're very thankful that we get to walk into that season. And I will tell you, it's been a long time coming, and it's been a lot of waiting for me, and don't think that I'm at all like this should have happened. I'm very grateful for it, and I understand being in the waiting season, and it sucks. And you look at houses, you look at land, and they fall through, and you get disappointed, and kind of want to give up. I literally said to my husband the night before we finally got a yes from this property, I literally was sitting there just crying, and I said, I can't do it anymore. My heart can't do this anymore. I fall in love with the property, and then it just falls apart, and we don't get it, and I can't continue doing that. And so I went to sleep. I went to bed crying that night, I'll be real honest with you guys. And the next morning I was like, Lord, if this isn't right, it isn't right, and I will move forward to another property. But it felt like home when I stepped on that property. It felt like home. And it's a lot of work, to get me wrong. Like, that house needs a lot of work, but it felt like home. It felt like where we were supposed to be. And to hear the words come out of our realtor's mouth that there was 0 wetlands was so crazy, you guys. So crazy. Because we had heard, half of it's wetlands, a couple acres of it is, and this time we had 0 wetlands, and we were able to just rest in that, and God just kind of went, okay, here you go, you get to use all of it. Which is crazy. It's awesome and amazing, but it's also crazy. That doesn't usually happen. So just so you know, I hear you and I see you, the people waiting for their happy ending to the waiting season, and the finances and everything. God kind of just opens doors when it's right. And don't get me wrong, financially we are not like doing awesome, but we are not at all hurting at this point. I mean, obviously we have wiggle room, so but just how God chooses to work sometimes is very interesting. So yeah, if you're in the waiting season, God has a good reason for it, and I know it stinks because we just went through it for a long time and heard a lot of no's. And we finally got a yes, and it was really, really wonderful. And what great timing. I mean, kind of a whirlwind last year for us. Got engaged last October, got married in April, and then signed the papers for our dream property in October of this year. So that is crazy. Whirlwind of a year and a couple months, I'll tell you. So so many blessings. It's so anyways, I could talk all night to you guys. I could tell you a lot more, but that's enough for now. Yeah, it's good things, and things are continuing to go in a good direction mostly. There's a couple things that I wish were a little different, but don't we all the time? I feel like there's always a couple things that we could be like, hey, I would really like this to be different than it is. So I'm just gonna wish you guys the best, and as always, go live wild and free.